Well, I didn't think that'd work. Don't try that little trick at home because it might scramble your DNA beyond all recognition. Just a little tip for you. Today is the 20th of March 2015. There was an eclipse today, but it was pretty rubbish. So let's move on. What video games have we been looking at this week on the channel? That's what you're really interested in. This is just a roundup of what's been going on. It's like indexes each week, so I don't just have a channel of video after video after video after video. Which is okay really, but variety is the spice of life. I don't want too many blogs and I don't want all of the same thing. That's what essentially I'm saying. But let's get on with it then. The first game, going from chronological order, that I brought you this time was on the Xenoc Spectrum. It was a sequel to Trapdoor. Can you guess what it was called? Yeah, it was called Trapdoor 2, Through the Trapdoor, published by Piranha in 1987. Now I have to say I prefer the original to this one. In the original game you controlled Burke, that big blue character, and you had to prepare certain meals for the bloke upstairs, so it was rather connected to the TV series. This second one, cute as it is, it's a bit bigger. You have to solve a number of obscure puzzles. Boney, the skull type person, has been kidnapped and dragged beneath the trapdoor. And using Boney and Drut this time, the crazy spider, between you must solve various puzzles to, in the end, rescue Boney. I've never come remotely near completing this game. If I had to estimate how much I completed, it'd probably be about 0.5%. But at least show you a bit of the gameplay there. By flicking, I think, a button on the keyboard, you can flick between Drut and Boney, so that's good. It animates really well, it's quite fun, but having said that, as I said, not as good as the original. Now, moving on to two Commodore Amiga's games this time. The first one was from a recommendation. It was called Data Storm, published by Visionary Design Technologies in 1989. Just had to read that one. Because I don't know anything about this game, or didn't. It's a Defender type clone, or drop zone if you will. I wasn't playing it properly, I don't think. You have to collect certain pods from below the screen and drop them into this filter thing, and then by doing that you complete the next level. I sort of completed it by shooting everything, which isn't the way to go really. Shooting the pods as well. But the graphics on this are really, really good for an arcadey type game, although it never was in the arcades. Graphics are good, sounds are brilliant, so they've done a wonderful job. It's a great conversion. I'm quite eager to get back to that one to play it properly in my own time. So I can very well recommend that one. So Data Storm, if you come across that one, either as a physical game or as a cheeky download, ADF files I think they're called, then give that a go. Next one on the Commodore Amiga was a game I've been meaning to review for absolute months, but for some reason didn't get round to it. It's James Bond, no not James Bond, this is James Pond, Underwater Agent. This is an absolute classic, this one. A very cutesy game, some people say too cute, but I quite like it. Spawned a sequel and a third game, but the first one is where it's at. Based on James Bond, if you hadn't already noticed, but you control a fish called James Pond. Each level is based on, well, the titles are based on James Bond movie films, so instead of License to Kill, License to Krill. I don't think that is one, but all terrible puns really. It's set over 2 screens each level, and it's a variant. You have to complete different tasks and then escape. On one level, for example, you have to collect 7 sticks of dynamite, stick it at the bottom of an oil platform. Once you've done that, you go on to the next stage. It's very sort of theme. One, you have to plug leaking oil into the sea with sponges. But please watch the video because I'm not explaining it very well. In the end, I tried it with a cheat mode on because that's the only way to go. Levels 1, 2 and perhaps 3 are quite easy. Then the curve goes up quite hard, well, quite high, and it gets very difficult indeed. So have a look at that one, James Pond Underwater Agent by Millennium Interactive from 1990. Now here's a game, if you're a Game Boy Advance holder, you might not have come across, which is really pretty special. It's Road Rash Jailbreak by DSi and published by EA Games. You might have heard of them. In 2003. Now, Road Rash, if you haven't come across it, because there's lots of different versions, you control either a man or a woman or whatever on a bike, and you must get from the start to the finish as quickly as you can, finishing in first place. But the upshot is you get to punch or hit people with a baseball bat as you go past your opponents, or hit them with a chain. The graphics on this one for a handheld is absolutely stunning. I love it. And with this version, Jailbreak, you can also control the policeman, which is great fun. So there's a mode where the 4 racers are controlled by the computer going off, and you must, as the policeman, knock them all off their bike before you get to the finish. What was that? I think I must have swallowed some dust. Hopefully I don't die. I seem still to be working. Heartbeat is still going. Yes. So Road Rash Jailbreak. Try that one. Maybe that was a part of the teleport process. Never mind. And the last game we brought you this time was moving on the pinball arcade theme. Next one was HarleyDavidson by Farsight Studios as a downloadable table in 2012. Comes also with a table called Taxi, which we'll have a look at as well. HarleyDavidson, I say I quite like this table. I like all the tables really. You control, how can I do this? It's very themed around Harley-Davidson. You're on a trip across America. By hitting the ball down the right side ramp, you advance the miles to get to the next city. There's Detroit, Portland, New Orleans. You get the idea. But great music on this one. Born to be Wild is one of them, I remember. But this game's really easy to get sort of different multi-balls. So if you're a multi-ball fan on pinball, if you like your games a bit manic and fast and furious, this is the one for you. HarleyDavidson. As I say, I will be coming to review Taxi as well. So that was the 5 games we had a look at this time. Of course, next week we'll be having a look at another 5. Again, I didn't complete the final episode of Tomb Raider. That last stage is an absolute nightmare. It might very well be that come the Easter break I'll concentrate some time on completing it then. But I will do it eventually. I might be 102 years old, but eventually it will get completed. I promise. Yes. Anyway, it's time for me to go now. So till next time, goodbye. Right, let's beam up. Whoa.
Goodbye.